Man, we've been having a good time with this Legacy Lounge. Just finished episode 15.
Yep.
Started off with backyard talks, and it's funny because I've had some people go, "Man, are you still selling real estate?"
Yes.
Yes, we are. And I just wanted to take some time right now just to talk about the forecast of 2024. We had a couple other real estate experts on as guests. We had Kim and Olivia on, and Olivia was just very, very excited when she was saying, "Man, I think things are going to be changing on the upward." And I really wanted to take this time just to hear what's going on in the world with your business at Golden Bay Mortgage. You and I just recently got a buyer into escrow, so excited about
Very.
that. But what do you think right now? What are you feeling right now as far as are you getting more phone calls? Obviously, last year, 2023 was a pretty down year for
It was.
a lot of us,
Mhm.
right? And it's funny, man. Like I picked up 4 new buyers last week, and that was more buyers than I had picked up, throughout the entire year last year.
Yep.
So I'm taking that as a good sign, and we're hearing everyone's talking about interest rates going down. So what are you feeling? What are you sensing right now?
So interest rates aren't down yet, but it's coming. With that being said, activity is up tremendously. We have more new active files than we've had in a long time. But on top of that, the phone is ringing a lot more. I think everybody saw the doom and gloom of last year, understandably so, everything that we heard. But at the same time, they know that there's an opportunity before the rates drop for a lot of saving and to really get ahead of the flood that's coming. And that's what we're seeing in there. And it's gonna be a good year in our industry, and I'm excited for it.
It's funny because I reach out. I always reach out to you when it's not just like mortgage related, but I'm like, "Hey, Rene, I'm thinking about refinancing my auto loan." And you're like, "What do you think about that?" And I was able to successfully refinance my auto loan,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't super excited because it only dropped my payment by $200.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, what did they tell me? They said, "Well, when rates drop again, you just refi again."
That's right.
And so I'm thinking right now, for the clients that we're working with, they have the same mindset,
Correct.
which is first of all, you have to have a need.
Yes.
I don't think this is a marketplace where people are just buying because they're bored. You have to have an immediate need. And so I just wanted to share the success story that we had with our recent buyer, Frances. Shout out to Frances. We got her under contract on an absolute stunning, beautiful home in a 55-year-old and older community in Westlake, not too far from where you live.
Correct.
And, here we go again. It's a relationship thing because we knew the listing agent. The second that I had said my lender's Golden Bay Mortgage, she's like, "I've gone on golf trips with Rene and Cam." So got our offer accepted. And not only did we get it accepted, but we got her. We attempted for the 2-1 buy down. There wasn't enough credit that the seller can give us. It was almost a $13,000 credit. We did get the 1-1 buy down, which was just shy of $9,000 that the seller gave to buy that down. So just touch on that program and kind of what it does.
So there's 2-1 buy down, there's a 1-1 buy down, there's a 1-0 buy down. We ended up with the 1-1. That talks of the numbers consist with the first 2 years. So year 1 and the second year, the interest rate is 1% lower than the fully indexed rate. That 9,000 and some change that is coming from the seller is literally the amount that our borrower is going to save over the first 24 months because of the reduced interest rate. She's ecstatic.
Yeah.
Like, this is a big, big thing, and we are able to help her save a lot of money while buying this house.
And let's just hypothetically say that rates drop. I'm going to be greedy right now and say that rates drop to 5.5%.
Mm-hmm.
She could refi at any time.
Anytime. The best part about this program is, let's say we've only been 12 months into this 24-month period of time with the lower rate, and we've only used half of the $9,500 of savings. The other half that she would be saving the second year goes towards the payoff of her existing loans. So she gets that savings one way or another, and we will lock her into a lower rate permanently when the right time comes.
Man, feels good. Hopefully we're going to see some more inventory. I feel like I've been saying that for the last 10 years is we need more inventory. But I'm excited about this year. I'm excited to hustle with you, man. Now we're going to shift gears and talk a little sports.
Okay.
Man, let's go. So first and foremost, were you surprised that the Ravens lost to the Chiefs?
I definitely was. You know what? It's hard to doubt Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, but I thought they were dead in the water this year. I didn't even actually think they would win the first game of the playoffs, and you just can't count them out. I do think what I was looking at is a team that hadn't been there before started pressing. They were doing things outside of the ordinary, and that's where the mistakes happen.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised because I thought Baltimore was the best team in the league.
So here's my take. Going into that game, I was rooting for the Chiefs. And I know that sounds crazy.
As a Niner fan, I fully understand.
And James Shelby, if you're listening to this, I had about 5 people over, and James, obviously Niners fan. Some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth I don't agree with. I kind of understand his logic, which is it's Mahomes, right? And I always put this into reference that, going into basketball now, you never ever bet against MJ. That's just like, you just don't do that, right? And
he's getting in that territory, man. I'm with you, man. He's killing it.
He's killing it. But with that being said, back to the Ravens, I just felt their defense was a little bit better than the Chiefs' defense. I didn't want to see that. I didn't want flashbacks from what happened when they stomped the Niners' ass. And I personally just feel like Lamar presented a little bit more threats than Mahomes. But then the game unfolded, and this is what I saw. They got to Lamar. And once they started, once Lamar saw pressure like that, it was like he was a different player. But you could also make the argument that game would have been different. The Ravens potentially would have won. I know everyone's talking about Mahomes and then the Chiefs defense, as they should, but there was that Flowers play where he fumbled on the one.
Big.
Right? That's a big play.
Yes.
So I don't know, man. Going into the Super Bowl, I would say I'm still going to stick to my guns for a couple reasons. One, I think it'll be one of the most sweetest success stories if we can knock out one of the potential GOATs in the NFL.
Agreed.
Won't even really touch on the Swift stuff because I'm just tired of hearing it and talking about it, but it would still be sweet to shut that up.
Yep.
And I'm going with my guy Brock Purdy. So what is your prediction of this Super Bowl? Who do you got?
I have money on the Niners, and I've had money on the Niners. So I do believe they're the better team. I haven't believed in the Chiefs in any of the games yet. And I think Baltimore is the best team. I thought the Niners were the second best team in the league this year. So my prediction is that they win. However, my question to you is, with how much that, Baltimore's defense was number 1. You know who number 2 was, right?
Chiefs.
The Chiefs. Are you worried about that line and how they got to one of the most elusive quarterbacks out there and rattled him like that? Are you worried about the line holding up against that defense that looked way better than I expected?
Are you ready? I'm not. Do you want to know what I'm worried about? I'm worried about the Niners defense. I'm more worried about the Niners defense than the Chiefs defense, and I'll tell you why. Because I really do feel that we're going to step it up. We're going to crank it up even more. Our guys are going to be just like on it. We got Trent. We got some beasts. I don't know the guy's name off the top of my head. Ohanahu, or I'm going to chop his name up. Omenahu, who's injured now. That was a starting defense, a bad defensive lineman who's now out, right? So they are out one defensive lineman. I think Brock has proven in multiple playoff games now that he can scramble when needed, right? But man, the Niners defense right now has been shaky. I just heard a report that they're talking about benching Chase Young. I never would have thought that would happen.
He's done nothing.
He's done nothing.
I
know. Bosa's coming off of a big game, and I really feel like Bosa needed that game to just get extra hungry. But, we've seen all sorts of clips on the Niners. The clip that I like the most out of all of the clips is they're in the locker room, and Bosa goes up to Purdy and goes, "Man, can you believe this?" And Purdy's like, "I could have played better." That's like the first thing he said. So I don't know, man. I think he's got confidence. I heard today that it's, from watching ESPN, that Peyton Manning's like, it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think that's accurate.
Okay.
If I were to make my prediction, I think that the game's going to be like a 34-27 or a 34-31. It might even get in the high 30s. I think we're going to be surprised. I think Patrick's probably going to do a lot of what he does. The game to me will ultimately come down to turnovers. I really feel if the Niners can somehow get maybe 1 or 2 turnovers, but I'm going to go on record right now and give you what my prediction for the Super Bowl MVP.
Okay.
Christian McCaffrey.
That's not a stretch. I mean, we both think that the Niners are going to win, and I definitely think he's more valuable than Purdy to your offense. So I'm with you on that. I would put money on that.
Most times quarterbacks get MVPs. I think it's kind of rare for anyone outside of a quarterback to get an MVP, but the Niners have broken our hearts because the last 2 Super Bowls that we've lost, if we would have run it, right? We played the Ravens, man, and they passed the ball the last 4 downs, and we had Frank Gore. We're at the 10-yard line, so that was a bummer. I just don't want to see. I want to see a healthy dose of running, and so we'll see how that goes.
I got the score a little bit less than you because that Chiefs team seems to muck up the water. You see how it just was. That game with Baltimore was not what we thought it was going to be. Yeah, they're 2 good defenses, but man, it's just a lot of trash going on that field. So I think it's going to be in the 20s, but I think you guys win by 4.
So what do you think the final score is?
I'm going to guess 28-24.
I'm going to go 31-27 49ers.
Okay, I thought you said both were in the 30s, man.
But now I have to have a definitive 31-27.
I like it.
All right,
I like
bro.
it. It's going to be fun, man.
Good shit.